to Flip Learning 3.0, the first in a series about the new era of flipped learning. We want to thank you for being with us today and want to begin by reminding you that this is going to be a 30-minute session. We'll have a 15-minute overview of what Flip Learning 3.0 is all about. Then we'll take your questions. To ask a question, you'll need to click the Q&A button on the upper right-hand corner of your screen and type in your questions into the text box. Read your question out loud to John, and John will reply. That pretty much covers the housekeeping, so let's jump in. Today's briefing is presented by John Bergmann. Most known as one of the pioneers of flip learning. What you may not know is that last year was an eye-opening year for John and for all of us at the Flip Learning Global Initiative. So John is very excited to share with you what we learned, how we learned it, and the implications for everyone involved in flip learning. So with that, here's Johnny.
It is amazing and wonderful to be with you. Wow. As Errol just said, it's been an amazing year. And last year, we made a surprising discovery. Flip learning has entered a new stage. The future of flip learning will be very different from the past. There was a whole team of dedicated people who have been doing a lot of work in this past year. And the thing that we found was we didn't know. And we report to you our findings. And I say this, as one of the pioneers of flip learning, you think I know a lot of this stuff, and I didn't. So I want to share with you guys in the past year about flip learning that really has rocked our world. So here's what we've discovered. And as we do this, we're going to be using an online tool called Mentimeter. So you can take out your devices, Mentimeter.com, text in the code 221980, and we'll 3 questions throughout this. So I'd love you to answer the question: to what extent do you feel you understand flipped learning? So looks like I activate the question. So go ahead. Sorry, text it in. You want scale 1 to 10. What do you think you guys are at? So our answers. I'm going to do it on my phone. All right, we're getting some response. 2 people, 3 people. All right, awesome. A lot of you in there. All right, excellent. All right. That was a 7.4. Oh, 7.6. We get some more super expert flip learning teachers. I saw you in there, Luann Hughes. I saw that you're in this session. You're awesome. Nice, I saw you too. You're one of the participants. Love to see some of our amazing people doing great work with flip learning there. Awesome. Okay. We're all kind of in this 7 range. All right. Okay. All right. So they're just joining. I hear a lot of people joining. To what extent do you feel you understand flip learning? If you go to menti.com, device, your phone, whatever it matter, text the code 221980. We'll have 2 more questions that will come up a little bit later in the session, where you're going to give us some responses too. So we've got some really great responses, and we're all kind of in the 7.2 range. Votes, the more we're at about 7.2. So what it feels like is most of you feel like you're kind of in the end. You know about flip learning. Maybe you're going to be like me and go, wow, I didn't know that, because boy, I sure didn't. So let me walk us through. There are 5 things we learned. So flipping is not static. Number 12, because of 3 key factors. Number 3, emerges a global movement. Number 4, there's awareness emerging about flip learning. And number 5, flip learning created new opportunities. And so I want to address each of these one at a time. Real quickly, this is a short briefing. So let's take a look at number 1, flip learning is static. Because there is a static view of flip learning. And the static view says things like this. I know classrooms. It's when you record your legs on video so students can watch them at home. So there's proof to that. It's right. Or say, I know all about flipped classrooms. I read John and Aaron's book. I attended a conference session, so you know all about it. The what was found that flipped learning is a very dynamic movement that is rapidly changing. He maybe said it best when he said, in terms of rapid change, experience could be your worst enemy. That was my issue, right? I was the experienced flip guy, experience, we had to swallow our humility and say we didn't know these things. So, since two, flipped learning is evolving because of three key factors. What are three forces that are driving the change? They are, number one, research, number two, classroom innovation, and number three, technology. Let's talk about each briefly. Number one, research. Dr. Robert Talbert, one of the research fellows at the Flipped Learning Global Initiative, did a series of studies. He looked at all the studies done on flipped learning, and in 2012, you can see the exponential number of studies, research studies coming out on flipped learning. It's amazing. But what made it more amazing is the kinds of questions that used to be asked versus being asked now. So in the old days, if you will, the research was focusing on three key things: satisfaction of teachers, satisfaction of students, and test scores. But now is a very different type of question. What's the effect of drawing on the flip videos? What is the impact of questions in the videos? What are the optimal time between individual and group work, and how we gamify the flip classroom? The many other research questions being asked. Another one of the research fellows said this, Dr. Guoqian from National Taiwan University, brilliant man, he asked this question. Instead of asking the question, does flipped learning work? Instead, ask the question, how do we improve upon the model? The second that is reason it's evolving is the classroom innovation. What we're inside the classroom is innovation with student-created videos, innovate with exploring group space beyond the classroom walls, innovate as teachers move from isolation to collaboration, the most important one, innovation with teacher-student relationships. And there are things that are happening in classroom innovation, and I know a lot of you are, especially if you're a bunch of teachers out there, I know a lot of you are teachers, I saw your bios or whatever, you're saying, oh, wait, I want to know what to do in class. There's a lot of things. John, you're going so fast. Here are follow-up webinars where we're going to go dive deep into each of these. What is the most amazing, innovative things we're seeing in the classroom? And dive deeply into the specific one. So stay tuned, I guess. This is the review. First is it's evolving because, of course, technology. No one is surprised that technology is continuing to evolve. Many of you in the audience are what we would call the early adopters or the innovators even. You are the ones who are on the cutting edge. What we were to people, literally all over the world. We're in conversations we have people in Singapore, Uzbekistan, United States, all over the world. They're saying what we're finding now is that people are getting on the flipped learning bandwagon now. We are at the early majority stage. And there's this huge need for a lot of things, which we'll talk about later. Also, this relates to a survey done by the Speak Up survey. The Speak Up survey says that 17% of U.S. math and science teachers are flipping. It says that 20% of teachers want to learn how to flip in the United States. And 75% of middle and high school students agree that flipped learning would be a good way for them to learn. We're a new breed of learning management system where it's not just an empty learning management system, but ones that are full, sometimes by textbook manufacturers. And, you know, kind of drum roll here, there's now a group of technology companies who are partnering, specifically the Flipped Learning Global Initiative, but the ambassadors, the master teachers, the researchers, to partner with them to build the best flip technology possible. This is a huge step to not just thinking, but actually get the feedback from the experts. So this has been a huge thing. So that was number two, Flipped learning is not static, number one. Number two, flipped learning is evolving because of three key factors. Number four, flipped learning is this global movement. If you look at the Google searches for flipped classroom since 2010, well, there it is. Because it's the summer, right? I did our research. We talked with people from all over the world, from Nigeria and South Africa and New Zealand and Korea and Indonesia and Mexico and everywhere in the world, learning is happening. Let me give a few hot spots. Spain, FlipCon Spain is being sponsored by the Ministry of Education. A textbook company is training 100 people a day. Iceland, 20 to 25% of all teachers are flipping their class. Taiwan and China, two large multinational companies, are trying to corner market, for lack of a better term, in the learning space. Australia, flipped learning has been recognized nationally by the national organizations that certify teachers. Argentina, one of the most interesting stories, the Ministry of Education is flipping the entire province of Misiones. They have about 300 and some thousand students. The 5-year plan, they started February 1, as in last month. The market for flipped learning is expected to grow at 37.4% per year. Math people, that's just crazy, right? You know that. Dude, that's amazing. So, number one is not static. Number two, flipped learning is evolving because of 3 factors. Number 5 is emerged as a global movement. Number 4, there is a new awareness about flipped learning. People, if anything we're talking about right now, this is, I think, the most earth-shattering, biggest idea of this entire year-long gathering process. This is the thing that rocked our worlds more than anything else. And there's parts to it. Number 1, flipped is not another teaching tactic, but a meta-teaching strategy that supports all others. This statement is, I think, the crux, the most important thing that we learn. Let's meet on this. You know, oftentimes you put flipped learning and it's immersed with all these other tactics: project learning, cooperative learning, personalized learning, inquiry, all these different types of learnings. And what we're hearing from people is this. And thinking of flipped allows the rest to happen. Or a metaphor we could use, again, this is from Dr. Robert Talbert, one of the fellows at the Flipped Learning Global Initiative. He liked to this: is the operating system where people require are the apps that you plug in. You know, you have a computer, you're sitting at a computer, you're working on your phone or whatever it might be. There's an operating system underneath it. And the operating system be learning, and then you can plug in these apps. Next, talk about the app you must always have. If you have this app, you are as a teacher. That's crazy. Okay, the app is called relationship. Of relationship, your school will fail. You will fail. Okay? So, but you need this operating system that gives you the time and the space for it to happen. In this emerging, as we're learning about this emerging awareness, learning can solve some of the biggest problems in the world of education. So if you can out your device again, go to menti.com, and what I want you to do is just type in what big problems from your perspective, from your lens, in education does flipped learning solve? Type in a response, whatever response you have, we can use your feedback here. So go to .com, 22180, engagement, awesome. Time, there you go. Crunch into a live session. Oh yeah, homework. Oh yeah, I got a book on that. Yeah, okay. Adequate flexibility, student motivation, time, class time, absenteeism. All right. All learners, engagement time, not enough time to delve deep, increasing rigor in the classroom. Beautiful. Interns can participate. Oh, we've seen that. Oh yeah, lessons become available to students anytime. Differentiation, time to ask questions. Brilliant. Reducing in-class cognitive load. Oh yeah. Ooh. That's such a statement. More content can be covered. Autonomy, all the time. Duration, student ability to maximize learning. Time to dive deep into content. Excellent. Advanced students where they're ready to learn. Innovation, time to task. Self-directed. Yeah, some things coming through here. Best relations, collaborative learning. Time to build relationships with students. I love that one. More time for active learning. Competence. Awesome. So say you voted. I'm going to catch you all in a second. Anybody else going to type in? Oh, hands-on. Oh, be a science teacher. Right? Awesome. Innovation. More. So we're getting a theme here. Active engagement, innovation, autonomy, time to do stuff. You see, it's the operating system that we need to operate under so that we get the time to plug in these apps called innovation, project-based learning, self-paced. Awesome. These are online schools. Works awesome. Oh, great thoughts. Okay, so here I'm going to just dive into some of the things we heard as we were doing our research over this past here. A lot of things you've already said. I would say low student comprehension can be solved by flipped learning. Someone mentioned homework. I finished a new book called Solving the Homework Problem by Flipping Learning. Comes out April, as in next month, and surveyed 2,400 students from around the world. And this is a degree of comprehension they felt after they had been learning in a flipped environment. Second, learners. Speaking of second language learners, I have a book. Hold on. A new book out right here, hard to see, but EL Frontiers. And they had a chapter on flipping the classroom, and they're saying basically flipping the classroom is magic for English language learners. A study journal, Dr. Hahn, he said that essentially there was a positive impact on learner autonomy with ESL students. Discipline issues can be solved with flipped learning. At Clinton High School, they saw 66% reduction in the total number of discipline problems. People, that's huge. At the school, they saw graduation rates significantly improve. They flipped their whole school, by the way, and started flipping in 2011, I guess. Percent graduation rate, they're up to 92 now. Frustrated teachers. I'll bet maybe you out there are kind of that frustrated teacher, or were that frustrated teacher in your class, and you could never, ever go back. Studies that show the job satisfaction of teacher goes up when they're students. Another research study came out. It actually asked the question, what student benefiting from the flipped classroom? This particular study discovered there was a 12% increase in test scores, which is pretty awesome. Not all test studies show 12%, but this was cool. But I think more significant is they analyzed which students were most impacted. And when they did that, they found that the most positive effects of the flipped classroom happened with, get this, low grade point average students and females. The biggest impact in lower struggling students, right? And also the girls. So I think that was pretty powerful. As we learn more, we're discovering a new mindset and new results, and seeing that flipped learning can solve many of the most important problems in the world of education. Last 5. Number, of course, flipped learning is not static. Number 2, flipped evolving because of 3 factors. Number 3, flipped learning has emerged as a global movement. Number, there's a new awareness. And number 5, flipped learning created new opportunities. They're looking for you. If you are trained in flipped learning, if you've learned how to flip your classroom, you're digital. You know, I called 4 hours ago with a principal from non know anybody who wants a job. I'm hiring. I'm looking for people who can class. People who are asking that question all the time. There's a need for trained and experienced flipped learning teachers. So it's important, well-trained in doing it well. I've also heard from many people that a lot of people have done flipped learning poorly. One research article came out and said essentially, easy method to get wrong. So there's a lot of people who are flipping poorly. So it's important that you get trained. There's also administrators who, there's a need for them who know how to move something through the trend of flipped learning. There's now principals who are flipping their faculty meetings across the world. Flipped learning trainers. Many of you are teachers, but maybe you want to move up in your career. Not there's up teaching. We need you, great teachers, right? This is a need for flipped learning trainers. There's a need for flipped learning tech coaches. A lot of you actually who have gone from the classroom to become a technology coach, and a lot of it's because of the work you've done with flipped learning. We've already talked about the researchers. There's a need for them. There's a need for workshop leaders, speakers, authors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the 5 things. One, flipped learning is not static. Number 2, flipped evolving because of 3 factors. Classroomation and technology. Number 3, learning has emerged as a global movement. 4th, there's a new awareness emerging about flipped learning. And number 5, flipped learning has created new opportunities. Menti.com one last time, and respond. One more question. Of the things we've shared today, what do you find most exciting about the future of flipped learning? So, why don't you share? We'd love to hear your responses. Yeah, student excitement, new tech. Oh, wow. Essex, Boy, it helps the most vulnerable students the most. Boy, it just do your heart good. Connect on a deeper level. Oh, yeah. active learning. It will contain excellent point. That's, yeah. And get passion in learning. It's engaged in learning again. Interactive motivation. Adult high school learners to manage their learning well. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. The adult high school person. That's awesome. Teaching excellence in the profession. Yeah. Yeah. Elementary teacher. Opportunity for enhancing the learning experiences. Excellent, excellent. Helping students. A shift away from classical direct instruction paradigm. Mm-hmm. We're going to let you keep chiming in with these texts, but I'm going to turn this over. It's not kind of Q&A time, but I'll let you continue to text. So, Errol, if you want to chime in and ask some questions at this time.
Thank you, John, for an excellent presentation. What we want to do now is to give you an opportunity to pose any questions you might have about this new era, Flip Learning 3.0. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? What are your input might you have about it? In order to pose a question, all you have to do is go to the right-hand corner of your screen. Use a little orange box that says Q&A. Go ahead and type in your question. I will read it. I will pose it to John, and then he will answer. Go ahead right now. You can begin. Just type in your questions. We're standing by. Question: what are your thoughts on trying flipped learning at this time?
Repeat the question. Starting flipped learning at this time?
Yes, the person is asking, Shirley Cook, I believe, is asking, what are your thoughts on trying flipped learning at this point in a course?
It's late juncture, so it's the middle of beginning of March. When we started flipped learning, 11 years ago, we started in the middle of the semester. So I don't necessarily think it's necessarily bad. Better if you start at the beginning of a semester, but you know what? It's always a good idea. That one of the beauties of flip is that you can lesson. You don't have to flip the whole class. So.
Okay, McKinley, what is the recommendation for transitioning teachers from direct instruction to flip learning? How long does it take for a non-tech savvy teacher on board on average?
It's about the tech savvy or the lack of tech savvy as a teacher. I think the bigger issue is their mindset ready to change. And so every person's different on that continuum. And ultimately, the best way to spread flipped is for people in your school to flip well, and then it spread virally. I mean, I had Louise, you're on right now. I saw your name. It's a school that I've had the privilege of working with this last year, and this group of teachers, they're flipping small group, and it's starting to spread in their school. So those are the kinds of things we want to see happen. So that's going to be the right teachers who are ready to flip. It's not about the technology. Important to find people who are a little struggle with technology. So the other staff are going to see it as, only the tech savvy teachers are good at this.
Sean asks, one of the biggest complaints I get is we don't assign homework at our school. And flip learning is homework. What do you have to overcome this attitude?
Well, you have to. The definition of flip learning doesn't have to do with homework. It says when you invert the individual space and the group space. So you could do a flip model. And flip model, of course, what are you doing? The kids are watching the content inside the classroom. You revision the individual space where they could actually get the low-level content from a sort of Bloom's taxonomic perspective through the flip model, and then you come to the group space. You can work. So, there are schools who don't assign homework that flip. Maybe that's the situation. Great.
Al Garrison is asking, what are some ways to overcome parent resistance to using technology?
Technology is becoming a part of everyone's life, and if people who are resistant, it's like left the station. Can I say it nicely? Technology is embedded in virtually every part of life, and but again, I don't want to be too mean, but it may be the wrong question. It's not about technology. Flipped is not a technological solution. It's a pedagogical solution. Yes, there is tech involved, but it's always start with good pedagogy and then add the technology.
Jay Murphy is asking, where is the best place to go for training?
Well, the Flip Global Initiative, which is sponsoring this webinar, has a training called Flip Certification. I know a lot of you I saw in the audience have been Flip certified. It is the most comprehensive research-based Flip learning training in the world. So I urge you to check it out there.
Pradeep, hopefully I'm not totally destroying your name, Pradeep. How do you the future Flip learning teaching in classrooms in underdeveloped and developing countries?
The example of Argentina. And when I visited the province of Misiones, one thing we discovered is that it's a developing part of the country, rural, and not a lot of great technology in the sort of the urban world that many of us live in. And what we discovered is that virtually every kid, even in poor rural Argentina, had a cell phone. And so they're running their programs so it's sort of, if you will, cell phone centric, but not so the students have to use data, but they'll download the devices or the learning objects to their device. So it can be done. It's more creativity. It will probably have a greater impact there and possibly other places when done with thoughtfulness, when done with creativity. And I think it's important in the developing world is to get support from the people in charge. So, you know, the Minister of Education for this province of Misiones is on board, and so they're figuring out ways to make this happen. So there's political power, that's the right word, but political will and drive to make sure that this happens because that their students need the best opportunities possible.
A question from someone named Jerry. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Can you point me to any studies directed at ESL and Flip learning?
I mean, you know, Google Scholar is amazing. Go to Google Scholar, ESL, and Flip Learning. You're going to find a ton of studies. There are, you know, you saw exponentially the number of studies on Flip Learning are increasing at a crazy rapid rate. So encourage there. I'm not sure. I found I mentioned one in the webinar. If you send us an email or contact us somehow, then we could send you the link to that study.
You're saying that the FL Global link isn't working. If that's the case, we'll go ahead and get that checked out, make sure it gets up. So
the link is flglobal.org. That's so go there and you'll find a lot of stuff there.
Okay, good. Let's see, John, we have a question from Ray Mara. What do you hear from parents about flipping?
That question. Oftentimes what I hear from parents is Flip learning is kind of new and innovative, and they feel like that's not the same school my kids went to. And you start to question it at first. Sort of that you communicate really well with parents about Flip learning. But message. This is the message you want to tell your parents. Number one, I'm going to have more time. People, you know this. You get more time with students. More to help your son or daughter. I'm going to have, if they're stuck, I'm going to continue to help them. I'm going to have more time to interact and help your son or your daughter. That's the key message that parents want to hear. And when they get that, they're going to say, I mind it. But you do have to communicate. This is actually part of our training where we talk about, you know, how do you interact with parents? What are some suggestions? Things like flipping your curriculum night or back to school night. There's a lot of different techniques that a lot of teachers are using to make that message get out.
That's all the time we have questions for. John, thanks for an illuminating presentation, for your energy, the spirit, and all the excitement you brought to Flip Learning. This briefing has been an eye-opener for all of you as well. In the coming weeks, we will bring in Flip innovators from around the world to share their experiences on each of these 5 points. Our first is going to be Dr. Robert Talbert. He is an FLG Research Fellow. He's really one of the most fascinating people we've had the opportunity to work with over the year, and he's one of the leading flipped researchers in the world. He'll be on March 16th talking about why the paradigm shift in how we see flipped learning changes everything. So we hope that you will all join us. Robert is a very engaging, thoughtful presenter, and he will certainly push your thinking to new levels. So again, it's March 16th at 2 p.m. EST. So mark your calendars. You don't want to miss this. See details at flglobal.org/training. That's flglobal.org/training. Thank you all for taking the time to be with us today. More importantly, thank you for all of your contributions to Flip Learning. You can contribute or continue this discussion at flglobal.org/community. We look forward to connecting with you again soon. That's it. Bye-bye.